Hello and welcome back to Oak City. This is our Plains and Prairies episode 26 we are on. We are going to be turning around and changing out a lot of equipment today and moving forward. This is still the end of August. We turned around and did finish up all the field work quick. So we did get this rolled. That's our canola field for next year. And then we did get the field prep finished up there on the field in the 20s. That's going to be our wheat field next month, or hopefully we'll get to planting that in this episode anyway. But we did turn around, and first thing that we did was changed out the one case Magnum that had the track pack on it and the huge horsepower. So we did downgrade the horsepower so it matches the other one that we already had, and turned around and changed it so it's red. Made the paint match, so they're basically matching tractors. A little bit of lighting difference, but other than that, they are the same. So that was the first piece of equipment that we changed, and then we do still have a bunch more to go. So we're gonna jump over to the tractor dealer, and as you can see, we have all of our old equipment kind of sorted out here. We are going to turn around and pretty much just do a mass sell off with all these. So we'll turn around and repair and repaint them all and then sell them. As you can see, we are at 2.9 million and some change. So then we'll just see where we get after all of that. So as you can see, having sold off all of that, we did go up, I don't know, about $550,000. All the equipment is gone, puts us at 3.5 million. So now we are going to start going on a spending spree on a couple of different things. First thing we're going to do is take care of, there is a canola field that's going to be ready to harvest next month. We didn't grow it, we didn't anything else, but we are going to turn around and snatch it. So we're going to buy that up first and foremost, because we want to turn around and get that canola running through our diesel. So we're going to buy that before we have an opportunity to run out of money. Then we're going to go in and start buying up some new tractors, new equipment. We do need something to pull the planter or the seeder, excuse me. So we are going to turn around and just go with the big case. Turn around and get rid of the plate. Yeah, quad track should do what we need to do. So that is what we're going to use for all of our heavy pulling. And we'll get that one set out here. Then we're going to turn around and go in. We are going to buy up our cotton equipment, as we don't want to turn around and run out of money without having bought it. So we'll run that down here. A lot of options here in harvesters. We have the base games, then we have the lizard ones, which we could definitely use and are far cheaper, go faster, and can do everything that we would want them to do. We also have the liftable pallet and bales versions down there, but I think at the end of the day we're going to turn around and go with this one, which is a mod CS770 John Deere. The advantage of this one is you can put the wide head on it, so we're going to get the 10.5 meter working head, the 6 mile per hour working speed. So not going to be, super fast, but we are going to get the wider head on it and not have it be ghost head. So we'll get this set up. Plenty of options on this one. Lower cabin light, we'll do that. We want the single, we want the detail in the seat. We will put a number 1 on this, as we do anticipate needing more than one harvester along the way. And then the windows, we aren't going to go too dark, I don't think. Yeah, we won't go all the way dark. But that's barely tinted. I think we'll go with 2. Sit somewhere in the middle. Maybe we'll get a little better visibility out of this. We'll just kind of play around with that as we go. And no plate, as is standard for our farm. $927,000, so definitely an expensive piece of equipment. Gonna turn around and pick that up. And then we will also need a transport for that, which we do turn around and also have a mod in for that, which is going to let us go with the McCormick, but this is a 5-bale McCormick. Throw wide tires on that, do some side lights, beacon. Yeah, let's go with a beacon, whatever that does. We'll go with the tractor hitch for now. You can put it on the truck or a tractor. We're not running a semi right now, so we'll do that. We're going to pull it with the case, so let's go ahead and see about turning that. And then rim color, we'll go with our traditional white for this farm. Should be good to go there. Strip the plate off, and then we'll buy that as well. $120,000 pretty much there, so not a cheap trailer, but should make life convenient when it comes to doing cotton. So that is our must-haves. That's going to still leave us $1.5 million and definitely upgrade our equipment. So we'll just kind of turn around and take a little peek around here at what we bought. Folding head on the cotton harvester there, track pack on the cotton harvester, super cool. That's going to be nice. And then our picker. So we'll turn around and run these back to the farm, and then we will jump forward to our next month. So here we are, first thing in September. Turned around and got all the equipment packed up and put away in the garage. Have turned around and got the seeder out, or left the seeder out actually, as it's going to go out into the field first thing this month. So everything does fit in here nice and decently for now. So we have all our tractors in there. These tractors tires are too wide to park out where we used to park the tractors on the other side in the single garage slots, so those we'll have to find different use for, although we do know we'll be picking up some tankers and stuff like that along the way. Could turn around and stick the limer over in there, probably some of the wagons, so have some options to open up some more room when we may be reorganizing some things, but everything fits for now, so that's the important part. So then I think we are gonna, for starters this month, turn around and we're gonna go out for the canola, and then we're gonna turn around and send the seeder up to the field. So I guess we'll jump in the seeder there, get that hooked up and sent up. I know that we have some rain coming in this month. Alright, we'll jump in here. See that we should be able to get this by without having any problems. So there we are, nice and easy. Turn around and get this hooked up, and then we'll catch up in the field there. So at 25 miles an hour, definitely not going to win any races, but I think this one does definitely look better up front with this seeder. It turns around and gives us a lot more mass to actually control the seeder behind it as far as stopping, turning, all the rest of that. Well, the Magnum had the power for it, not really the footprint, especially even the way that was set up with the 3-meter track pack. This is just going to be a lot more weight and substantial of a tractor to have up front, so I think it's going to work out quite a bit better. Don't anticipate having any, horsepower problems, especially on the flat ground. How it deals with the slopey, undulating, crazy hill over there, but then I don't know if that will keep seeding that field. Probably just plant that field going forward. Be a lot easier than trying to get the big seeder in there. Either way you look at it. I think for the most part, we're just gonna jump this into the field. Track pack doing its thing. This tractor doesn't really seem to matter what you throw at it. Let's go ahead and start unpacking this gigantic seeder. Actually, it looks pretty good behind this tractor. Alright, we'll just bring it up here and see how how this thing actually gets started. Headlands, yeah, we definitely wanted to do the headlands. The fence, I got a feeling, is going to play into a problem here, though, so we'll just have to see how this is going to go. We'll just have to... It's going to be interesting to see what the seeder does here with the AI. He's going to wrap it all up into a ball is what he's going to do. The fences cause a fair share of problems. I have to say, I am contemplating more and more getting rid of the fences just because of the ease of operation. Don't really need them. Kind of wanted to try to keep them around the outside of the fields just for the look of it, but to be honest, they are a pretty big pain for working big equipment, so not too sure. Alright, if we leave the ear out on the corner, I am totally fine with that. Makes it far easier. So if that's the corner that we get, we're going to be fine with it working just that way. 7 miles an hour, that's the speed of the seeder, so it doesn't seem to be having any issues. Big fuel, big everything else, so we are just gonna kind of let that one go to town from here. Should have enough to cover the whole field. We'll get a good look. We had the solid fertilizer was full, seeds not totally full. I can't imagine it's gonna go through the whole thing of seeds, although the seeds are going down just about as fast as the solid fertilizer. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get the whole field in one chunk. Hopefully we can. 55 acres of wheat we're planting here in the first month we can get it planted, so we will have to roll that one. And then with that, I think I'll go down, jump into the combine there. We will grab the combine and head out after our canola. Here we are, working our way out to the canola field that we just purchased. There we are. Get this pulled out here. Let's grab the head there. Open that up quick. Oops, could have had it. There we are. Fold that up. Gonna have to turn around and head out into the field here. Turn around, probably swing down to this side. A little bit. Don't want to turn around and drive out on the field and wreck what we got. We have like 67% yield bonus on just about 15 acres here. Steering assist. Rock this thing. No straw swath or anything here. Just going to be straight canola. We're not going to turn around and sell it or anything like that. This is going to go into, you know, both of our main industries, so our diesel production can definitely use it, which is the goal. Also, we can try to sneak some into the bioplastics and get that working. So just going to kind of depend on the yield. There is another little canola field up here, but where that one has the fence line that runs along the irrigation and the road, we're going to try not to take that out, because that would just be one that we'd have to replace. Will be off of GPS, probably GPS, maybe not. So that road we might have to turn around and clean up. We'll just manually finish that one. Let's see if we can get GPS to set in here. I think we got a hold of it that time. One drawback to not having the lines on is you never see whether you really clicked in or not. You just go, but just what it is. Take a look on the inside. Yeah, this combine, I think I really want to lighten the window tint. Probably definitely keeps it cooler in here in the heat, but definitely makes it harder to see inside, so that's for sure. This field really shouldn't take too long, and honestly it's not going to yield anywhere near as much as we want it to, but anything at this point will help in our diesel for sure. Our diesel production is halted because we have no canola, so this is going to alleviate that, get us to producing some diesel until we can get next year's canola going on, because at this point all we have is 20,000 liters of diesel to offload, which would definitely get us through the winter as far as our burn, our diesel, but also we want to be able to start selling diesel as a real thing, so this is going to help us do that. Just about got the head row down. Doesn't look like, yeah, we're going to get too much over 10,000, maybe 11.5. 11K, I suppose. Seems to be around what I'm thinking. Off of the head row, which then isn't going to be, I mean, horrible. We should get at least 25-30,000 liters of canola off of the field, which would be nice. If we can pull that, be happy with it. A little over 11.5. So 11.6 wraps up the head row, almost 11.7. So we'll turn around and run the up and downs on this, and we have got the seeder out far enough ahead of, or far enough on the field there, that I think we are going to take a shot at getting the roller out in the field at the same time here. We have that weather coming in, and quite frankly would like to make as short work out of this month as we possibly can. We know we're going to have huge harvest month coming up, so just trying to get through this one. Going to turn around work the headland, yes, and send it. The roller is not going to be as wide as our seeder, so I don't think we're going to have any problems. At least I don't think it is. We'll double check as it gets up to the row here and make sure that we're not going to have to do anything twice. Honestly, didn't even check the width. I was just thinking that that cedar is the biggest thing, and that this makes it look like the roller is wider, which may then be a problem as far as that goes. Let's see. Yep. So we're not going to want to roll that until after it's seeded. We could turn around and put it on the up and downs, but honestly the seeder is going to seed slow. So let's just turn around and fold this up, and we'll stick it over here in the corner of the field for when we can actually get it to use. This thing is digging a huge rut. Good news is we're going to re-roll over all this anyway. Go ahead and get it set up here. This is where it's going to start, but we're going to wait. I was hoping I could turn around and get them both in the field at the same time, but really, I don't think so. That looked like it was overlapping and not in a positive way. So we'll just turn around and let it sit and get back to working our field down here, I think. Closing in on our final run down the field here for the canola. Just about have the whole thing in the bin here. We're looking at around probably 41,000 when we get all said and done here. So not, you know, nothing to write home about, but definitely going to help us out for sure. Yeah. Just over 41. There we go. And we do have a little small skip over here that just out of good principle, we'll turn around and go pick it up. I don't anticipate it even remotely probably being worth the fuel burn to pick it up, but we will go ahead and grab it. There we are. Got that on. Let's turn around and go ahead and unfold the head there, drop it down. We're not going to be able to fold this one up too much on board. 41,000 liters, 82% capacity, so we'll just turn around and hike this back to the farm, and then we'll get it unloaded into a trailer so we can get it delivered and sent out to some industries. We are going to turn around and sell this field back right off the bat. No point in keeping that around. 41,000 liters of canola on board the trailer here, and we will be heading out now to go take that to dump. Let's avoid the fence there if we can. Alright, 41,000. We got to figure out how we want to split this. Actually, we don't care. Go either way, I suppose. Turn around if we can get, you know what though, actually, let's see, in here, if we go to diesel, there's our diesel. We don't have a lot of sunflower, though we're gonna have a lot of sunflower. That's the kicker, and we're already full of soybeans, so there you go. But then again, we don't have any canola in the pier either, and we definitely like to get that started. So let's turn around and throw, we'll see if we can throw at least 10K in here. Too nuts. Alright, that should do that, and then the rest we are going to throw into diesel. Let's get, I think we can turn canola on here. Actually, let's just jump into it right here. Yeah, canola, activate. Bam. Gives us almost 11,000 in there, so we'll take that. Not sure how fast it'll burn it or anything else, as this is the first time we've had it in here. And then this, we will go put in the rest of our diesel, and then that'll let us get that turned back on. And then between what it's already got and making this into diesel, it should actually give us enough to want to haul out of here, is the idea. Dumping that in there, and then that'll bring us to diesel production, which we can activate again now that we have a little bit of everything in there. Means we're gonna have a lot of sunflower, not enough canola, because we have a sunflower field that's actually ready to come up, but that is all the canola that we're going to have until it's over, or until next year when our canola harvest comes up, unless we find another, maybe there's something out there we can snatch up along the way or something. We'll just have to see is what it is. We don't get to produce that much fuel, we don't get to produce that much fuel, so I'll get this parked up. And then go ahead and check on our cedar up there, making good progress. This now, I'm sure we could turn around, and what we can do is come in here and tell it to start with the up and downs instead, and maybe that'll start working. Might as well get it going somewhere. The cedar's halfway across the field, so, and then I can just finish the hedgerow when it's all said and done. So there we go, getting that cruising along, working out, And we'll check the soil. Yeah, gonna do its thing just fine. So cool. All is well there. Turn around. Gotta get that parked up. Get this in, and then we'll start our monthly sell-off. We are just kind of taking a look around our seeder and our big case here, just checking in on how things are doing. Still 75% of the solid fertilizer, and you can see only down to 67% of the wheat. So as far as running out of any of that, just not happening. I mean, 55-acre field up here, going to eat it up with more than half. So I think this thing is going to be capable of planting, or seeding, up to, who knows, 110, 120 acres, something like that. If you're looking at wheat anyway, it looks like definitely is going to run out of wheat seed before it runs out of solid fertilizer. So there's a difference. I'm used to using that planter that's always using the liquid fertilizer, and even with the other planter, you're going to go through much more fertilizer usually than you are seed. So the seeder definitely working on the other side of that with the solid fertilizer. Not a bad thing. Definitely going to allow you to stretch out some serious acreage. Not going to do it super fast, 7 miles an hour, but then you do get a nice wide coverage. So about the same as something going to be working in that 14 mile per hour range. This tractor, I have to say, out of all of the multiple tractors now that I've tried to run this seeder with, this is by far the best and easiest one to do it with, if you ask me. Not sure what the AI's issue is here on this turn, but for the most part, this is pretty easy to run. Could actually come in here and probably relieve him of duty, but we'll turn around and take a look at the roller here. The Magnum doing a great job for all of the anything else. I mean, the 400 Magnum, this one again got, I don't know, around 600 horsepower, plenty. The big tires, you got plenty of grip. Getting things done without having any issues, and then at 42 miles an hour, it's got plenty of speed to run around. So, having two of these and that big dog over there should be able to get the bulk of the farm work done, no problem. Can't complain, not disappointed about swapping out the equipment. It's just going to make it much easier in and out of fields and getting things done, and paving the way for us to go much bigger. At this point, we have 1.8 million, so kind of debating between whether putting in the animals as wanted to for a while, or heading over, and we could pick up a lot more acreage, which is probably what we're going to do. So we're going to look to turn around. We'll have to pick up some way the potato field down here. If we bought this whole lot unit, the potato field is ready to harvest. And then up here, this cotton field is pretty close to harvest. I think it would be next month. So maybe we pick up this potato field, pick up this block unit, and then harvest the potato field, give the cotton one more month to finish out growing, harvest it, and then turn it into field for next year. That certainly would be our biggest field. I gotta think this turns into somewhere around 115, 118, maybe 120 acres. To get a good count on it. And then it just kind of depends on how much of it, if you can work it all in there. But we do have some trees in there, which leads us to, we need some more equipment to actually deal with trees. But then again, that would cause us to have another payoff in the bioplastics, because we'd be able to start running the trees, or the wood chips and the cotton through for the, I think it's like cellulose glucose or something. But just another form of income for us coming up for our sales for that thing in December and January. So still a couple of months to actually turn some profit out of that. So I kind of think that maybe that's the way to go, and we just kind of still put off the animals. Again, sheep and goats, nice to have around, but not really like the immediate monthly payoff kind of thing. Plus, pretty much where we already own the land for them is just about barns and livestock going in there, so that would be a cheaper investment. So I think where we have a nice block of capital investment, we're going to turn around and go ahead and wrap that up into ground, and we have an easy enough month to kind of get started working with some of it. So I think that's going to be the plan, but we'll just catch up as we go along here. So that does get our seeding done. You can see the roller off there in the distance, still putting in work about halfway through the field, but the seeding is completely done. Excuse me. Still 69% of the solid fertilizer and 61% on the wheat. The wheat, obviously the seeds weren't full when we first started. Fertilizer was, so only using about 40%, not even 40%, 30, 31, 32%, let's say, off the tank there on 55 acres, or right around that much. So very efficient in its work. Again, not the fastest thing out there, but definitely with the spread covers a good amount of ground in a decent time frame, that's for sure. So and the case definitely seems to be handling it well, not having a problem at all. So gonna turn around and get this one back to the farm, put away. We're gonna go jump in, take care of our sales. Well, that's getting done, and then we also have some equipment, or some more equipment, to turn around and pick up. So here we are picking up our first, or well, not our first purchase, but our next new purchase. We did turn around and pick up potato head for our harvester here, which is going to turn around and bring us to our next order of business, which is going to be this field down here. It's only 32% yield, so not going to be a high yield or anything on it, but we are going to turn around and acquire that. Going to be our next part of our next large property pickup. Always looking to expand the farm, and this should kind of turn around and honestly be the start of our new biggest field. This just going to be the very beginning of it. We're going to turn around and get this out in that direction. We also have the fertilizer headed out. Actually has gotten to its destination, so we'll turn around and get the fertilizer working on that canola field. So that one is taken care of for the month, or for the year. It'll all be sealed in, fertilized, rolled, everything just needs grow time. Looking for our target field off there in the distance. Get there this way, big machine here. All the way out there into the corner. Most of this stuff either is harvested. I don't think we're going to get a lot of cash back on this. We'll try to turn around and get this potato field, and then the cotton I think is going to be ready next month, which will be nice, though we have a lot on the docket for next month. So next month is going to definitely work the equipment to the max, and now that we actually cleared out equipment and just have the new stuff, alright, hopefully we have access to the field somewhere here. That is our potato field, or we're gonna have to rip a hole in the fence if we don't see one. Are you kidding? There's no way to get into the field that way? Well, there's gotta be a way. Oh, I don't like the idea of running this big machine down this. Well, I don't know, maybe trying to keep an eye out for white flowers. It's like, yeah, right, because there are some collectibles out there, which are white flowers. Oh, this is gonna get tight. the gas up so we don't fall into the irrigation bin. Where is the opening on this field? Are you kidding? We bought a boxed-in field, though. Unless we cut a hole in the fence, we can't even get into it. Apparently, we just needed to come working on this way. I guess it doesn't really matter to me if we get rid of the... You know what? I've had enough of playing around with this fence, because we're going to get rid of it anyway. Wherever the opening on the field was going to be, I have no idea. But not going to turn around and mess with it anymore. Enough dawdling. We want to keep the field along the fence, and we want to keep the field, or the fence, keep the field. We want to keep the fence along the road and along the irrigation ditch. The rest of it would not going to matter at all, because all of this is going to get turned into one field, about as much as we can see right now. Although we do have these trees in here that we're gonna have to, like there, that we're gonna have to come up with a solution for. So gonna get this started in here, which I said is gonna fill up super fast. So we're actually gonna have to have a trailer out here to unload all of this anyway. Now that I'm thinking about it, this machine will fill up really fast on potatoes, I'm sure. Headlands, yeah. And you can turn around and send it. Okay, then we're gonna have to get a tractor and a trailer. Of course, we'll jump in over here, turn around and try to get this one set to go and sent. Full tank of fertilizer on there. Just about done up there on the rolling. Well, not really. Still have a whole head row and all that to do. So plenty to do there. Fertilizer running over there. We are going to have to definitely get a tractor over there to empty that out. So let's see. Oh, it's easier just to go around. Get through here, jump in our other tractor here, we'll grab a trailer, and then we'll head it up to the field there. So we have gotten the roller back to the farm there. That is all done. We are turning around and bringing in the delivery truck here. We'll be loading that up. Speaking of which, should turn around and check on milk stocks while we're at it. Have not actually done that yet this month. 24,000 sweet, so we do actually have milk to bring down, so we'll be running that for next month. So gonna turn around and get this loaded up, grab the milk truck out, and we are currently still harvesting the potatoes, so been dumping that on the fly so that thing can just keep going. That's just kind of where we're at and what we're up to. So just one more stack to go here. Trying to get those all on the truck there. For the most part, that's working out. See if we can have a little better success. There we go. Got that on board. Looking good. Without the apples, we can get the preserved food factory all in there, just not and selling apple juice. We'll turn around and run this over, get that sold quick, and then I think we'll probably go empty out our potato harvester. 143,000, not too bad. We'll jump over here quick and see where everything's at over here. 151,000 liters so far in the bucket. Potatoes, so we don't have to worry about running over anything here. So we'll just try to catch up to the harvester as fast as we can. Of course, it's about to make a turn. I don't know if we can get it dumped before it'll try to make the turn. No, we can't. Alright, we'll just catch it on the way down. Yeah, AI worker blocked by me. object. Let's go. Down the field with it here. Barely making it into the bucket. There we go. 250K, so we got a full load there. So this one we're going to turn around and just take, I think, and we'll sell off. We are going to try to keep some of this. We can run through the bioplastic, so we're going to do that. Where was that barn? That barn was somewhere in there. There it is. The barn, we did turn around and sell off the barn. We got $0 for that, so we didn't get any kind of payoff for selling the barn. We just want the barn out of the way because it would be in the middle of what's going to be our field. Swing down this way, going to turn around and sell off this load of potatoes. 250,000. It's not at the peak. Did turn around and take a look at it. A couple of months away from the peak sale price, which would be like 743 or something. But we're on the way up. It should be a decent sale price, so we are going to just offload it. Most of it, or at least this bucket of it. The next bucket we'll just see. This we're going to use for some cash back on the field. Yeah, decent little amount of cash back, not too shabby. $207,000, almost 208. Cannot complain. It almost makes it where we want to sell all of it. We'll just have to see, because I don't even know how much more we're going to get off of there, though we want to try to throw some into the bioplastics if we can. I'm sure if we can run potatoes through there, they'll definitely pay off more. If it pays off at $207,000 in that thing, I bet it'll be a boatload coming out of the bioplastics. So we'll turn around and get this staged, and then we'll jump over and sell some more of our products there. Here we are, sliding over the month, and our monthly money is what it really is. Yeah, 57,000 on the slide there. That one came out pretty good. Drop that. Let's go. Alright, doesn't want to drop it fast today. That's fine. Let's keep it moving. No, don't stop. Alright, let's get that off of the ground. Nope, not gonna work. The first one went really well, and now it doesn't want to slide in a big group, so that's fine. We'll just run it, or maybe it's just this pallet. I don't know. We'll just see what we can do. 32K, not gonna complain about that. There we go, that's sliding much easier. Maybe because it was only worth 25,000. This is going to turn around and bolster up our money for sure. See, just not wanting to slide the corn out of there today. Those out of there. Is that actually it? It seemed almost light. No, yeah, there we go. That explains it. I was gonna say, pretty light delivery this month. Everything still should be running at capacity as far as I know. Wheat and corn anyway. Yeah, it's just this set of pallets is causing a slide issue. But for the most part, working it, and still certainly faster than trying to load it into a pickup or a semi. For the most part. Oh, come on. There we go. 50,000 and a little bit of change left over there. So gonna move us back up to almost 2 million. Crazy, actually, when we have full production of things going on, the amount of money we can make in a month. So that is going to turn around and free us up to turn around and buy the rest of the plot up here. So we'll go ahead and buy that. That's going to be for next month. What do we got over there? Harvested. This is cotton too far out, not going to make a difference. So we will go ahead and buy that up, and we'll just go ahead and buy the rest of it all. Going to drain a significant portion of our money, but add to our property for sure. All right, still a couple more deliveries. We'll just go kick the apples over real quick there. I don't know that we need to sell off apple juice this month right now. We probably do not, although we just spent a ton of money and it probably makes sense to recoup as much as we can. These working out great. Let's make sure that we have enough water here. Have to say, this really is a nice mod. It, you know, is not going to make you filthy rich, but it's apple trees, so the amount of work seems pretty accurate for the amount of money. It's a great mod. Oop. There we go. Chucking that in there. Really, all you need to do there is water every now and then, unless you want to produce. You can definitely up the production on it by stuffing other things in it, in which case you could make, you know, I'm sure a significant more amount of money. Just not what we try to do. Is just kind of our passive, chill money maker. In case we ever went completely broke, we know we have a way to get unbroke. There we go. 5,000 liters of apples. The pallets have now been massively improved and work great. 35,000 for a little bit of water consumption. Nothing wrong with that. We do have to turn around and go grab our milk for our delivery there. Wait, where do we just get $35,000 for? Alright, that was weird. Not sure what that was, but back up to 717,000. That was after spending, you know, 1.7-ish million on that ground and a ton on new equipment. So still hauling along pretty good. So we're going to turn around and get this back to the farm. So I have turned around and peeled 80,000, or we got 88,000 it looks like, out of the potato harvester there. This we are going to turn around and try to run before that thing gets full. We're going to try to run this over to the bioplastics and go ahead and get the potato feed going there. And then depending on what the kind of burn rates, maybe we'll look at getting some sort of potato field or something like that going next year. Nice thing with potatoes, we certainly wouldn't need a lot of acreage to do the potatoes. The bioplastics, I haven't double checked, but most of it holds around 100,000 liters of product. So 100,000 liters of potatoes, then depending on the burn rate, but if that's around a year's supply, it definitely would not take us a ton of ground to do that. I mean, we could do it with a field, even something, a little field like that there would turn around and serve our needs for potatoes if it's only about 100,000 that we need. So let's go ahead and swing that in there, and we'll jump over here. Find potatoes. There we go, and we're going to go ahead and activate that. Going to be a, what is it, polylactic acid. So one more thing contributing to polylactic acid to go along with the corn and the wheat there. So we would look to see that going up much faster now. 100,000 liters. Yeah, everything's just 100,000 liters in here. So seem to be doing all right on all of that. Wood chips we haven't activated yet. Wheat we are working. Sugar cane, definitely do not have sugar cane. Just want to make sure everything is active here that can be. Definitely is. Okay, up and running. So we'll get this out of here to go clear out the rest of that field then. So we did just turn around and fill up another bucket of potatoes there. That's going to make 500,000 liters sold and 88,000 stuffed into the bioplastic. So a field like that, you know, producing, let's see what size, 30 acres of potatoes going to turn around and produce 600,000 liters plus, something in that neighborhood, 600,000-700,000 liters. And that's with, you know, not a great yield on it either, to be totally honest. It was a low yield field. If I remember, it was at 30 percentile, 30 something there in yield. So really could yield even a lot more. 30 acres probably going to give you close to 1 million liters when it comes to potatoes, and quite a bit of profit there and replanability for sure. We'll swing these up here. Not going to complain. They're going to have made us back $415, $1,000 ish, somewhere in that neighborhood of our purchase price of $1.7 million for the whole plot of land there. And then hopefully we'll get something back on the cotton. And we also have the potatoes in the bioplastic, so that'll turn a profit as well. 925,000, going to bring us back to almost $1 million. Just headed out on the other road there. And the only other things we have left for this month is to turn around and get the... Actually, we need to get the fertilizer back to the farm there, which we should be able to have do something like that. Hopefully that'll work. Potatoes are just about done being harvested. I think whatever we get left off of that field, we'll just try to turn around and put into the bioplastics or sell it. So actually I might as well turn around and just park the tractor here somewhere, and we'll dump the potatoes as we come by here. Actually, would make more sense. Alright, gonna do our offload here in the middle of the road. Get that opened up. Another 41,000 liters there. And then this we can turn around and pack up. Nope. Wait till that's retracted there, then we can turn around and pack that up, get it parked off to the edge here so we don't cause any traffic problems. Then we'll jump back over, and this is going to turn around and put whatever we can into the bioplastics, and the rest is going to be sold. Did consider almost just ground dumping it, to be honest, so we could turn around and use it to plant, but we'll just deal with that however we'll have to deal with it when it comes to the time. I don't think we're going to get much more than 12,000 liters, something like that in there, but that's going to top it off. 30,000 liters left. Not a lot, but we will turn around and sell it off if we get her on the harvester here. We certainly can. This will be the last of our sales for the month, and the only other thing we're going to have to do is get milk delivered down to our dairy there. 24,000 liters of milk. Let's get the rest of the potatoes dumped there. Quick little $24,000 pickup, so not too bad. All told, we definitely got a lot of new equipment. Now we picked up, 100+ acres. I think when it's all worked out in field, it should be around 118, almost 120 acres of ground that we picked up, and a ton of new equipment. Obviously, have the two to get back home, and then we're gonna have to figure out the process of going after this one coming up soon. We do have the trees to get out of the way, but we also have that cotton field. The cotton field we're not gonna mess with. We're gonna let that grow out as it's getting really close, so not gonna turn around and mess with turning the field over or anything else until the cotton is clear out of the way. But I think all things told, a lot of money in, a lot of money out. We can turn around and take a look here at the finances real quick. New vehicles, we bought most of those in August, so that was going to be almost 2.2 million there. We did sell off 1.1 million, so 1.1 million in new equipment. Land purchase 1.7 million this month, so quite a bit there. And yeah, but well, all told, we made a little under $1 million, looks like, between harvest this month and products sold. About 800 and some thousand last month, so kind of just feeding the beast. Obviously, our total income down from the 3 million, but we're still sitting at almost $1 million with a ton of new acquisitions, new equipment, still leaving us room for more new equipment, which we definitely need and we'll be picking up on the next month. But I think for September, we're going to call it a win. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.